I'm here to assist you in learning Korean. Korean class lesson 31. Using
는 것.
with.
이다 소스, how to study Korean.com introduction.
I keep saying this, but you have learned a lot about using the
는 것.
principle. Don't think that you're out of the woods yet, because there is still a lot to know. In this lesson, you will learn how to use
는 것.
with.
이다.
Let's get started. Using
는 것.
with.
이다.
You've learned a lot about how to add
는 것.
to any verb, and technically adjectives as well by using.
는 것.
But you have yet to learn about how to add it to.
이다.
You are probably asking yourself, when would I ever want to add
는 것.
to?
이다.
I just want to point out that this is actually the same thing as adding
니은.
to
저기다.
words, which you learned in lesson 16. Let's remember what
는 것.
does. If you want to just say a noun, you can just say a noun. For example, person equals.
사람.
If you want to describe that noun, you can use adjectives.
똑똑한 사람 equal.
Smart person, or verbs.
먹고 있는 사람 equal.
The person who is eating. But, now think about this for a second. What if you want to describe a noun with a noun? Look at the difference or similarities between the three following sentences.
똑똑한 사람 equal.
The smart person or person who is smart.
먹고 있는 사람 equal.
The person who is eating equals the person who is a teacher. How would you do that? Remember that
이다.
is conjugated as an adjective, using the
는 것.
principle with
이다.
is really no different than adding
는.
to an adjective to describe an upcoming noun, because
이다.
is conjugated as an adjective. The following would not be correct.
선생님이는 남자.
Instead,
이다.
gets conjugated as.
인.
For example, left square bracket.
직업이 선생님인 사람들은 인기가 많아요 equal.
People who say jobs are teachers are popular. It sounds slightly more natural to say.
직업이 선생님인 사람들.
In this case, instead of just,
선생님인 사람들.
remember here that the entire clause before
인.
is describing the upcoming noun. In this case, the clause is,
직업이 선생님이다.
which would unnaturally translate to something like the job is a teacher. However, when put in the place of describing an upcoming noun, it can translate to
직업이 선생님인 사람들 equal.
people whose jobs are teachers. At any rate, try not to worry about the use of,
직업.
as I realize it might be difficult, in that sentence and focus more on the big picture of what adding to
이다.
accomplishes. The thing is, as you can't see with my big blurb above, this may not be as simple as it should be. Most of the time, there would be a better way, using another word or something to accomplish the same sentence. For example, in the sentence above,
직업이 선생님인 사람들은 인기가 많아요.
is the meaning not exactly the same. In English, if we just say teachers are popular, for example,
선생님들은 인기가 많아요 equal.
teachers are popular here, we are accomplishing the same thing but don't need to use
이다.
as a descriptor in the sentence. Another great example would be if you wanted to say something like, students who are girls wear skirts. That would translate to something like,
여자인 학생들은 치마를 입는다.
but that sentence sounds ridiculous in both English and Korean. In Korean, it would sound much better if you just used the word
여학생.
which literally means female students. For example,
여학생들은 치마를 입는다 equal.
female students wear skirts. I would much rather say female students must wear skirts, but you haven't learned how to do that yet, and I try not to use examples that use a concept you haven't learned. Despite this, there will be some times where you will find the need for using
는 것.
with
이다.
Sometimes this happens when you come across a noun that has the feeling of an adjective. For example, the word
부자,
literally means rich person. In English, if we wanted to say that person is rich, the word rich acts as an adjective. However, in Korean, they would say,
그 사람은 부자야 equal.
that person is a rich person. Here,
부자,
acts as a noun, and the whole sentence is predicated by.
이다.
In this case, you might find it useful to use
이다 플러스
to describe an upcoming noun. For example,
내 친구는 부자인 아버지를 자랑해서 equal.
my friend boasted about was showing off his rich father. Another example using the word
불법,
which, as a noun, translates to illegal.
슬기는 불법인 일을 하고 있어요 equal.
Sulji is doing something illegal. It is also common to see this form attached to somebody's job title to describe their name, sort of like saying he is Rob, the CEO of Samsung. For example, Titanic.
배우인,
Leonardo DiCaprio.
는 잘생겼어요 equal.
Leonardo DiCaprio, who is an actor in Titanic, is handsome. At this point, you might be saying all of this sounds really complicated and I can't even really understand when I would use this form. I agree with you. This looks complicated. The thing is, the foundation of many other, more complicated, grammatical principles have
는 것,
incorporated within them. These grammatical principles, in addition to being able to attach to verbs and adjectives, are able to attach to
이다.
as well. Here are some other sentences using other grammatical principles that you have not learned yet. I'm including these just so you can see that attaching
니은,
to
이다.
is important to your Korean studies as you progress.
그 사람은 가난한 사람인 것처럼 행동했어요 equal.
That person acted like a poor person
처럼,
is introduced in lesson 67.
그는 축구 선수인 만큼 달리기를 잘해요 equal.
He runs as well as a soccer athlete player
만큼,
is introduced in lesson 72.
그 사람이 너의 아버지인 줄 몰랐어요 equal.
I didn't know that person is your father
줄,
is introduced in lesson 85. In each case above,
니은,
is attached to
이다.
form.
인,
You can see in each example that
인,
is used to describe an upcoming noun. There are many more examples of how
이다.
can be used to describe an upcoming noun like this, but I don't need to include them all here, as you will learn about them as they become important. Tilde
는지,
is also added to
이다.
in this same way, again, because
이다.
acts as an adjective,
는,
should be added to it,
이다 플러스 는지,
will always be.
인지.
For example,
그 사람이 선생님인지 모르겠어요 equal.
I don't know if that person is a teacher.
그 사람이 선생님인지 아닌지 모르겠어요 equal.
I don't know if that person is a teacher or not.
우리가 동갑인지 몰랐어요 equal.
I didn't know that we were the same age.
이것이 저의 엄마의 목걸인지 어떻게 알아요 equal.
How do you know that this is my mother's necklace? Oftentimes,
이다.
is attached to a question word to predicate a sentence. In this same sense, you will often see
인지.
attached to question words. For example, note that the pairs of sentences below are not dialogues. I organized them this way to show you the similar format that you can see between using
인지.
and using
이다.
to predicate a sentence.
비상 출구가 어디예요 equal.
Where is the emergency exit?
비상 출구가 어디인지 모르겠어요 equal.
I don't know where the emergency exit is.
지금 몇 시예요 equal.
What time is it now?
지금 몇 시인지 모르겠어요 equal.
I don't know what time it is now.
당신의 목표가 뭐예요 equal.
What is your goal?
저의 목표가 무엇인지 알아요 equal.
Do you know what my goal is?
이 일의 관리자가 누구예요?
Who is the manager of this job?
이 일의 관리자가 누구인지 알아요?
Do you know who the manager of this job is?
가격이 얼마예요?
How much is this?
가격이 얼마인지 모르겠어요.
I don't know how much the price is. It is also possible, as it is with attaching
는 것,
to a verb or
는 것.
to an adjective, to turn an entire clause into a noun, and then predicate the sentence using a verb, just like how you learned how to write this sentence in lesson 26. I am only including the brackets below to show you that we are still using the same basic sentences of subject, object, verb.
저는 사과를 원해요.
I want apples.
저는 친구가 사과를 가져오는 것을 원해요.
I want my friend to bring apples. You can do the same thing but with
이다.
here.
내가 열쇠를 안 가져온 것을 깨달아서
I realized that I didn't bring my keys.
내 행동은 실수인 것을 깨달아서
I realized that my actions, what I did, was a mistake. That's it for this lesson. I'm Samantha, enchanced, from Siri. Thanks for listening and hope you're satisfied with my service. For more info, please visit http://www.howtostudykorean.com.